Hi everyone, welcome to So What? I hope you're having a great start to your Tuesday. Oh, I'm a little all over the place today, I'm not gonna lie, because, well, remote learning. Let's just say remote learning is getting the best of me. So, for all of you teaching kids, teaching grandkids, whew, it is tough to manage all of this, isn't it? So, I'm glad that we get this time to kind of come together, support each other, talk about some sewing projects. All right, so today I'm going to go over some fun and exciting things. We're going to talk about our fantastic New Year's Eve event. I'm also going to talk about, sorry, I was getting my chat ready there. Okay. I'm also going to talk about some other things we can do to celebrate the beginning of a new year, 2021. I couldn't be happier that we're starting a new year. 2020 has just been challenging all over the place. So I hope you all are healthy, happy, living it up while we're, at home and forced to kind of dive into our fabric stashes, right? I recently dropped off a quilt at my trusty quilter, and she said she's seeing so many scrappy quilts come in. People are going through their stashes. People are finishing up all those UFOs, which is so great. She's just, her business is booming, and that's fantastic. And you know what? That gives us room to start some more fun projects, right? We get rid of the ones that have been kind of looming and we get to start fresh. So in the spirit of starting fresh and starting a new year, 2021, we're going to be talking about all things New Year's Eve. So you've been hearing me talk about our New Year's Eve virtual party, which is going to be amazing. I will talk about that momentarily. But we're also going to talk about dressing up to party down. Now, even if we are in the comfort of our own homes for New Year's Eve, there's no reason we can't get dressed up and get a little fancy and, break out that bottle of fancy champagne or fancy sparkling water, whatever, floats your boat. I highly suggest we dress up. Why not? It brightens our spirits, put a little makeup on, do our hair, get fancy, and party in the comfort of our own homes, even if that means we're partying with the family that we have been around constantly for quite some time. So we're going to go over sewing with sequins. It's a little challenging. Creating some fringy things because, we're kind of bringing around the roaring 20s again, now that we're in the 2020s. So let's talk about those challenging things. And if you have questions, comments, if you want to like this post, love it. Even if you want to give me an angry or sad emoji face, I'll take that too sometimes. I'm not going to lie, I always wonder, why are people crying out there? This is happy. This is supposed to be our respite. Okay, anyway, I digress. All right, so for all of you commenting, engaging with the post, all of that stuff, I'm going to give away a registration for our New Year's Eve event. Now, to register, it costs $5.99. This is our New Year's Eve gala event that we will be hosting with Sallie Tomato on December 31st. It's $5.99, but with your entry fee or your cover charge, as it were, you will be getting a brand new Sallie Tomato pattern for free. It is valued at $9.99. It is called the Zelda pattern. It is the bag that we will be making throughout New Year's Eve evening, leading up until midnight, where we will all toast together, wearing, hopefully, our sequins and fringe. Okay? So, not only will you get the Zelda bag pattern, you will also get a collection of hand embroidery designs if you choose to embellish your bag with hand embroidery. You'll also be getting an exclusive machine embroidery collection, and the designs featured in both of those are all motifs that are featured on the lining print of the bag. So I will show you that momentarily. But all of those goodies are valued at $36.99, and you're getting it all for the cover charge of $5.99. So that is our giveaway today. One lucky person will be getting entry into that event. So I also want to mention, if you already have plans on New Year's Eve, or if you cannot imagine staying up until midnight sewing, because, you know, I get it. I have 3 kids. It is tough. But you can always watch the event later, whenever you want. You can stop it, pause it, fast forward it, whatever you need to do. Once it is live, you will be able to access it forever. It will go into your Sulky Education library. So if you want to join, but you're not sure what you'll be doing New Year's, you don't know if you want to be sewing all night, register anyway, grab up your pattern and embroidery designs, and you can view everything after the event, okay? So just know that it's not a one-time shot thing. You can watch it on demand. Now, those of you who will be joining live, you will be able to participate in our live chat where you get to talk to me and Jessica Barrera of Sallie Tomato. We will be answering your questions directly as they come in throughout the night. So there is a benefit of attending live. We will also have some fantastic door prizes. So leading up until midnight, we will be giving away stuff periodically. We have some big prizes we will be giving away hourly. And then we might just sneak in some things here and there as well. So there are lots of chances to win really, really cool stuff. I will just tell you that our final grand prize is a Husqvarna Viking serger, valued at $1,799. That's right. You could win that as the grand prize of the evening. Now, we also have some other really great prizes. We will be giving away a Sewist Stabilizer bundle. Actually, I think it's the Stabilizer Essentials bundle. Excuse me. We will be giving away that. That is valued at $69.99. Big prize, lots of stabilizers for sewing, quilting, embroidery. We will also be giving away a really cool hardware kit from Sallie Tomato. This includes a bunch of different D-rings, clasps, snaps, zippers, all kinds of cool stuff so you could make lots and lots of bags. And that one's valued at, I think, $129, something like that. So high value door prizes throughout the night. You can think of your $5.99 cover charge not only as a cost of getting, you know, the embroidery collections, the pattern itself, you're already coming out a winner, but also as somewhat of a lottery ticket, okay? You have lots of chances to win, so it's going to be really fun throughout the night. And you don't have to attend live to be eligible for the door prizes on this one, okay? So we wanted to be sensitive to all of you who might have New Year's Eve plans with your families at home, or if you're like me, you're worried about staying up past 10 o'clock at night. So even if you join us for the beginning, for the welcome, and then you want to come back later and watch the rest, you are totally welcome to do so. All right, lots of you coming in and saying hello. And okay, yes, I confirmed with Sallie Tomato. Let me just make sure. Okay. A lot of you are asking, are we going to get our kits in time? So I wanted to make sure and follow up with Sallie Tomato because the kits are coming from Sallie Tomato, okay? Now I know normally when we do a Sulky education event, those kits are coming from Sulky. But for this one, because of the time-sensitive manner, because they were creating this exclusive pattern and, you know, we're launching it with this event, we just thought it would be best if they fulfilled all the kits. So the kits will be coming from Sallie Tomato. I linked to them in the description of the post. I'll go through the project with you in just a sec. But since a lot of you are already asking, will we get our kits in time? Okay, she says, you know, as we all know, with COVID and all this stuff with the UPS, there are lots of delays in shipping right now. So even 2-day priority may take up to 2 weeks to actually get to you. Isn't that crazy? So order your kits today to make sure you receive it in time. She says, if you order by the end of day tomorrow, you'll get it in time. So even if it takes 2 weeks and you order end of day tomorrow, you will get it in time for the event. So be aware. You can also sign up without getting your kit right away because, like I said, you can watch this anytime at your leisure. You can join us for the event. You could even make a mock-up of the bag, and then when it comes in the mail, you can make the real thing. That way you can practice along with some scrap fabric while we are sewing in real time. And then if you make any mistakes, you can correct those with your final bag when it comes. So you've got options, and it's going to be really, really fun. There's, lots going on. So just, be assured, if your kit doesn't arrive on time, if you watch this in a couple days and you happen to have missed that kind of cutoff date with shipping, just know, again, you can watch it at your leisure, anytime after the live event ends. All right, so let me get reorganized here. I want to go over the project with you because it's just so fun. And I finished my first bag yesterday. I'll be making multiple bags so that I can help guide you through all those embroidery steps. Jessica and I are going to tag team throughout the night because, let's face it, 4 hours is a lot to see of my face. So we're going to switch off and you'll get to see her cute face because she is a great teacher. And I know you'll love learning from her. You probably recognize her from previous Sulky webinars. We've done 2 with Sallie Tomato so far, and they're so popular that we knew that you were all just going to love this event. All right, so I'm going to get into the project, but before I do, I'm going to play you this little video that Jessica put together because, like I said, she's so cute. She dressed up in 20s attire. Her and I are going to be wearing our doing our Great Gatsby sort of looks for the night. So you all can tell us if we're missing the mark or what, but we're going to have fun with it. We're going to dress up, and I don't know if I should spoil the surprise, but I'm always spoiling the surprise here, so I'll just do it. What the heck? So with your kit, Sallie Tomato is giving you a little gift, and it is a little celebration package. So you will get a little noisemaker, you'll get a little thing to wear on your head, a little headband, you'll get some things so that right before midnight, we can all get our little cuteness on and kind of ring in the new year together. Isn't that cute? She's so cute. All right, so I'm going to play you this video, and she gives you an overview of the night, and then I'm going to show you the project and what I made yesterday, and just go over some things that I'll be talking about and how to kind of prepare for the evening so that you're ready to sew right when we all log in at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, Eastern Time. That means if you are obviously on the West Coast, you'll be done well before the clock strikes midnight, and you can still, ring in the new year again with your loved ones. So keep that in mind too, adjust for your time zone. All right, so here's that video, and it's real short. Right after it, I'll go through the project with you.
Plans for New Year's Eve? Well, you're invited to a virtual New Year's Eve party hosted by Sallie Tomato and Sulky. Sew along with us and friends around the world as we count down to the new year. During this live virtual event, there will be special guest appearances and door prizes throughout the night up until midnight when we give away a grand prize. If you haven't guessed it yet, the theme of the event will be Roaring 20s. The bag design, fabric, embroidery, and virtual event will all follow the theme. We encourage you to dress up for the event with us and share your pictures throughout the evening on social media. The event will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on New Year's Eve. When you register for the event, you'll receive the bag pattern and embroidery designs for free. If you don't have an embroidery machine, Sulky has included hand embroidery designs as well, so everyone can join in on the fun. We also have complete kits available with pre-cut fabrics, so you're ready to sew with us on New Year's Eve. Be sure to grab a kit soon so you have it in time for the event. Let's all welcome the new year together while making an empowering project to inspire your 2021. Register today and invite your friends too. See you on New Year's Eve.
See, I told you she is just the cutest thing. So I've really loved working on this with her. And, Sallie Tomato bag patterns are pretty much my favorite patterns to sew. They're just very intuitive. They are constructed really smartly. She's just really good with her instructions. It makes you feel like anybody of any skill level can create her designs. And you come out with this boutique style bag that's worth, $200 to $500 and just lasts a really long time. So she's also really smart about sourcing her materials, making sure that there's minimal waste with your patterns. So she's just very mindful of all those things that, are important to us as sewers. So, all right. Ronnie, I love it. Who are the people that don't stay up late sewing, right? So why not be with your fellow sewists into the wee hours as we're all doing it together. So I love that. All right, so let's go over a little bit of the project. So like Jess said, this is the Zelda bag pattern that we will be sewing throughout the night. And like I just said, beginners, intermediate, advanced sewers, all can make this bag. That's how great the instructions are. And you'll be getting to sew it with the pattern maker herself, okay? You cannot get better education than that. She designed the pattern, she'll be showing you how to sew it. Brilliant. And like I said, I will be going through the embroidery steps. So when you choose your kit, you will choose hand embroidery or machine embroidery. The reason for that is that the threads and stabilizers are going to be different in those kits. And I will be showing you both methods. So we're going to start out the evening with the handwork designs because as we know, handwork takes a little bit longer than machine work. So I'll be starting out with those folks. Now, if you're doing machine embroidery, don't tune out because I'll be starting them off, then I'll go right into machine embroidery, and then we can both kind of sew in tandem together, get the embellishment done so that it's ready for the next step, which is constructing the bag. All right. So while I'm going over the machine embroidery instructions, the hand workers can be busy creating their designs. All right. So I actually timed myself yesterday doing one of the handwork designs to see if we could finish that portion in time to move forward. And the thing about the method I'll be doing is using Sulky Stick and Stitch Stabilizer as our transfer method. Now, that's going to be included with the hand embroidery kit. If you choose to use your own fabrics and create this without grabbing a kit, which I just got to tell you, she has discounted the kit by $20. So for right now, you can get your kit for $39.99. This includes faux leather. This includes high quality Essex linen fabric. This includes zippers, hardware, lining, thread, stabilizers. I mean, you cannot go piecemeal, pick out these things and get to $39.99. I'm just saying. Also, as she mentioned, all the pieces in the kit are pre-cut for you. Huge time saver. Okay, so I digress. Handwork. Now, when we use the stick and stitch stabilizer as an embroidery transfer method, that stabilizer, which goes on the right side of your fabric, and we sew through it, and I'll go through all of that during the event, we have to then wash it away. That's going to leave us with a wet piece of fabric as we move forward in the night. So, don't fear, I have come up with some solutions to where we are not completely saturating our piece of fabric and we can move forward with construction. So, you will learn those the night of the event. All right. Also, you can choose how detailed you want your handwork to be. If you want a completely filled in design, just know that's going to take you a little bit longer, okay? You may have to watch the event and then go back and start with the construction steps once your handwork is complete. So again, just know you can always watch it on demand later. Like I said, if your kit comes a little bit later, you can always rewatch, pause, all those types of things, and we will still be available, or we will still be answering questions on the education portal site. Okay, so once you register, it will take you to the event page, and you will see on that page, if you scroll all the way down, there's a Q&A section right there. So if you have questions after the event, you can type in your question and we will get back to you. So we are always here to support you in that way as well. All right, so I timed myself to make sure I could get the handwork completed, to make sure I could get that stabilizer removed and all of that. And so it is doable. So we're going to make that happen. Ooh, Amy says, I actually keep a hair dryer in my sewing room for such purposes. Brilliant. I'm going to pretend like I came up with that. No, I'm just kidding. I will totally give you credit. That's a great idea. All right. So, handwork. All right, I'm going to show you the bag I made yesterday. This is my cute little handwork design. Now you could put this wherever you want. You can choose your own handwork design. You will be getting 5 designs with the purchase of the event, okay? These are all motifs, like I said, that are featured in the really cute, bright lining fabric. Now this fabric is from cotton and steel. A lot of you have asked, why do we name that thread cotton and steel? Sulky has a 50 weight thread that is great for piecing, quilting, and really everyday sewing. And it's called Cotton and Steel Thread by Sulky. A lot of you ask, what does that mean? Cotton and Steel is a fabric company, and they make really great, high quality designer fabrics. So we featured this great fabric on the inside of the bag. Now, whether you choose the beige version or the charcoal version, you get the same lining fabric. It goes with both colors. So you can see there's that bird in there, all these flowers. You get to choose your design. You can combine designs. You can do whatever you want to on the front of your bag. And same goes for the machine embroidery. So you'll get all 5 designs for machine embroidery, and then you'll be getting Sulky Poly Deco thread for the machine embroidery. So like I mentioned, handwork is going to come with Sulky 12 weight cotton petites thread. That is the thread that we recommend for handwork. 1 strand of this is equal to 2 strands of traditional embroidery floss. You can double it up to have thicker stitches if you want to have a thicker fill, or you can use 1 strand for your designs. Now here, I doubled up my thread and I did 2 rows of stitching along that outline, and then I did an insane amount of French knots in the center of my flower. As you can see on the handwork design, there aren't that many little dots, but I just filled it up with a lot of fun French knots, and I'll be showing you some basic stitches for handwork. I will also show you some more advanced stitches. So if you want to do more of a free form look, you want to ignore those designs that come with your kit or that come with your registration fee, you can do a free form design with a bunch more advanced stitches and go that route. So there will be lots of options, lots of options. All right, so let me go ahead and show you that lining fabric. I showed it to you on the bag, but here it is in really pretty photography, matched up with those 12 weight cotton threads. When you do the Poly Deco version, the threads are very similar. The purple's a little bit darker, and let's see, purple's a little darker, and the green is a little more muted, but they're very complementary and they all match that fabric print. All right, so those are the threads that you will be getting and how they vary between the kits. All right. And then here is that gray version. So I did the beige version yesterday, put it together, came together really, really easily. It's got this great hardware, adjustable strap, and yes, this strap is out of faux leather. and look how nice it sews. I mean, it just sews like butter. And Jessica will give you all the tips. I just had a crash and burn. Jessica will give you all the tips for sewing with faux leather, and you'll see just how easy it is. So there's the gray kit with some of the hardware and thread and things like that. That has antique hardware, really cool. I love the gray look as well. I just can't decide which one I like better. But when you get your kit, like I said, everything is pre-cut. Even the fringe, everything's pre-cut. You will also get your threads and your stabilizer based on the type of kit that you get, all right? I do want to mention, if you have already signed up and you have taken a look at, the pattern already, step 1 tells you to fuse the fusible fleece to your outer pattern pieces for the exterior. Now, don't do this until you come to the event, because we are actually going to add the embroidery before we add the fleece, all right? So if you want to get ahead and start prepping things, there's really no need to do so, because during the 4 hours time, I promise you, we're going to embellish this thing and we're going to complete it all together. So don't dive in and start fusing things together, because like I said, step 1 will tell you to fuse, step 2 will tell you to embellish, and we're going to do the opposite. All right. So no need to do that. But to prepare, if you are deciding not to get a kit, I get it. If you're deciding not to get a kit, you will need to pre-cut your pieces so that you are at the same point as everyone else. Okay. So you'll need to get fusible fleece. There's a little bit of interfacing involved. There is lining. There's a pocket. There's the fringe, there's the strap. I mean, who doesn't want to get a kit now, right? I mean, pre-cut pieces, just so awesome. Okay. Let's see. Christina's saying, so you buy the kit and pay to watch the video. So yes, so the kit doesn't come with the pattern. So when your $5.99 entry fee gets you into the event, gets you the pattern, which is valued at $9.99, gets you the embroidery design collections, hand and machine work. Together, those are valued with the pattern at $36.99. So the designs have a value of $26 or so dollars. The pattern has a value of $9.99. You're getting those things for $5.99, and you get to watch the event. So it's a 4-hour streaming event. Think of this as the most inexpensive sewing class you can get these days. You know, there's so much virtual stuff going on out there, and we really wanted this to have more of a party feel. That's why we're going to dress up. So I think you'll find that this has a great value. And yes, if you want to get the kit, it is optional, but great value, great deal. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Ida says I'm in and the kit is ordered. Awesome. Can't wait to see you. Jean wants to know, what do we need for thread? Okay, so if you're not getting the kit, you will need construction thread. We are using Sulky 40 weight poly deco. That is what Jess likes to use when constructing her bags. It's a little bit heavier weight thread, and it's great for top stitching details. And all of our yummy colors go really well with the fabrics that she chooses for her bags. So we're going to use 40 weight poly deco for construction. Then for embellishment, if you're doing machine embroidery, we will be using the 40 weight poly deco for that. Your kit will come with 4 additional colors for embroidery that match the lining fabric. If you're doing handwork, you need some Sulky 12 weight cotton petites. For the handwork, that also comes with 4 colors that match the lining fabric. So that's what you need for thread. Keep in mind, if you're doing handwork, you also need a hand sewing needle, okay? You also might need a hoop. Now, if you're using Sulky stick and stitch, I don't use a hoop with that. Some people find that it's easier to handle if you're also using a hoop, and then you use the stick and stitch as your transfer method. If you don't want to use stick and stitch for whatever reason, I will also be showing you how to use a light box and how to use Sulky iron-on transfer pens. So there are different ways you can transfer your design to the fabric to do your handwork, okay? So I'll be giving lots of options for that. And I think you will find that that stick and stitch is just, bam, easy, good to go. And you can print your designs directly onto it. It comes right out of your printer, ready to cut out and slap onto your fabric. So you'll like it. All right. Okay, we've got a question. Would you recommend doing the embroidery piece before the party? I'm going to be teaching that part. So if you want to learn all of those tips and learn how to use the products that come with your kit, just wait and you can do it in real time. To be quite honest with you, I finished this bag in about 2.5 hours. So the event is 4 hours. We've devoted about an hour and 20 minutes to embroidery, and the rest is for construction. So you'll have plenty of time to kind of bounce back and forth, or maybe if you take a little bit longer with your handwork, you can catch up on the construction part, okay? We're gonna have some little breaks put in. We've got some special guests who might pop in and say hello. I know, it's exciting. I'm actually going to leave that as a surprise. They might be giving away some more goodies. Okay, I digress. I really can't keep a secret. Anyway, so I don't really recommend doing that first, okay? I don't want anything to be missed. And again, if you just start following the pattern and you fuse that fusible fleece to the piece that you need for embroidery, then, I mean, you could still do the embroidery through the fusible fleece, but it's just not what I'm going to recommend. So if you go rogue and you get started on something before we start, your pieces are pre-cut. So you're not going to have the flexibility of recutting a piece, when we go through the lesson. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you want to, like I said, make a test bag, or kind of go through some of the motions that you think you might have a question on here, by all means, open up the pattern, read it through, take a look. But we're going to be very thorough and we will be guiding you every step of the way. Okay. Esther says, if you use a hoop, it could stretch the fabric and leave marks. Well, for handwork, it's not necessarily going to leave a mark, but yes, it could stretch the fabric out if you hoop it too tightly. If you use the stick and stitch with a hoop, the stick and stitch is actually a stabilizer as well as a transfer method. If you leave your stick and stitch piece large enough and hoop through all layers, that stick and stitch is going to prevent your linen from stretching or that weave from separating along the hoop ring. So another thing to keep in mind, you might be okay with the hoop. Cheryl says, will all types of thread be in the kits? When you choose your kit from Sallie Tomato, you will choose either hand embroidery or machine embroidery. With the handwork kit, you will get 1 spool of 40 weight polydeco for construction and 4 spools of 12 weight cotton petites for embellishment. If you choose machine embroidery, you will get that construction thread and 4 spools of additional polydeco for the machine embroidery embellishment. So you have to choose which type of kit and which color you want. And that's going to dictate the threads and the stabilizers that you have inside. Speaking of stabilizer, with the handwork kit, you will get the stick and stitch that you can print your design and transfer it to your fabric. If you don't have a printer, I will show you how to transfer your design by simply drawing it onto the stick and stitch using a light box. So there's that option as well. If you get machine embroidery, we're actually going to use Sulky Stiffy Stabilizer. Okay, that is a heavyweight tearaway stabilizer. And it's going to be great for this linen fabric, which has a really nice, lovely hand to it. You can tell it's high quality just by running it through your fingers. But that stiffy is going to give us additional stabilization for these kind of dense designs we will be sewing onto it. So speaking of those dense designs, let me show you here. Here we've got the beige version and the charcoal version. And it's featuring that bird design. That bird is all thread, okay? It's also worth mentioning that beige one, it looks a little bit different from the fabric that you will be getting, okay? Because the lighting was really good in that photo. It's a little bit more, you could see like the weaves of the linen. Really, really pretty. So just be aware of that, okay? And then like I said, I just did a different one of those designs to showcase the handwork and kind of a different treatment that you could do. And also my daughter Riley said, I want the purple flower. I want the fringe bag. She has already got dibs on the bag. So I'm going to have to fight her for it, but at least I'm making two. The only problem is I have two girls. So they absolutely love the fringe on the bag. They are 6 years old. I don't know if they deserve a fancy bag like this at 6 years old, but you know, might have to surprise them. Okay. All right. So lots of you have a couple more questions. Okay. Kathy's wondering, will it ship in time? So like I mentioned, order today or tomorrow by end of day to make sure that your kit arrives in time for the event on the 31st. All right. I talked with Sallie Tomato. Shipping delays are happening all over the country. So if you are in the US, now if you're in Canada or international, obviously your kit may take longer to arrive. So keep that in mind. But like I mentioned, you will be able to watch that New Year's Eve event on demand anytime after the live event. If your kit comes 3 days later, join us for the live event, party with us, ring in the new year with us, and then rewatch when your kit arrives. It's also really helpful to rewatch if you want to make multiple kits. If you want to make one with some scrap fabric after you do your beauty bag, as I call it, or make one as a gift. It's great to have this video in your video library on the Sulky education site, which is sewingonline.sulky.com. Okay. Once you're there, you can also see all of our past webinars, video casts. It's our education platform and it's amazing. So I think you guys will really, really like playing around, browsing things. We also have some upcoming things already posted on there that you can check out and kind of reserve your spot now. So that's really important. Okay. Kitty Lane is asking, where do you sign up for the video? Okay, in the description of today's post, if you go up to the Facebook post and hit see more, you'll find links for everything I'm talking about here today. You'll find a link to sign up for that video cast. You'll find a link to sign up for the New Year's Eve special event. You will find a link to grab your Zelda Bag Pattern kit from Sallie Tomato. And then you will find links for everything else I just talked about. All right, so the Sulky Cotton Petites thread, which we will be using for handwork, the Poly Deco, which we will be using for machine embroidery, the Oregon top stitch needles. Yes, top stitch needles. I like to use a top stitch needle rather than a leather needle when I'm working with faux leather. And you will learn why and how and all that stuff during the event. But I linked to those needles. They do not come with the kit. So if you don't have those sewing machine needles, grab a pack today. The other thing I wanted to mention is we are having a great sale right now. Now, this is unrelated to the kit, so please know that. Let me see if I can find the right thing to show you. Here we go. Our sale today is actually on tools, okay? There we go. All tools and supplies are on sale today for our Merry Christmas sale. The reason it's the Merry Christmas sale is because with every letter here, as you see, we have a different special going on. So today we are on the letter A, and that stands for all tools and supplies. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I told you at the top of the episode, I also wanted to talk about dressing up to party down. Now, if you are joining us for New Year's Eve, Jessica and I will be dressing up. We will be doing our best Great Gatsby impressions with our fringe and our feathers and our sequins and anything else we can find to glitz ourselves up for the night. And we highly suggest you do too, because we really want to see all of your pictures of yourselves with your new bags on New Year's Eve night on social media. If you are planning to do something else for the night, you might want to get dressed up too. So I'm going to go over a couple of tips for sewing with sequins and sewing with Sulky Metallic Thread. This is always something we get a lot of questions about, working with metallic thread, because it can be finicky, and depending on your machine brand, your machine could tolerate it differently than someone else. All right, so tools and supplies on sale. That includes the wonderful, let's find it, Thread Director. Now this is an array of metallic threads and that thread director. If you go on sulky.com, you will find our metallic thread starter kits. You will also find the specialty thread spool pin adapter, which is called the Thread Director. There's a Thread Director 1 and there's a Thread Director 2. If you want to use 2 spools of thread, like on a twin needle or for some different decorative stitches, you can grab the Thread Director 2 and that will hold 2 spools of thread. Or you can grab the Thread Director 1, which holds 1 spool. Now, why is this important? Because when you're working with metallic thread, oh, and the thread directors are on sale. That's my whole point. Tools, supplies, on sale, including this thread director. Okay, so when you're putting that in your cart, grab your top stitch needles as well, Oregon top stitch needles, size 80-12 for our 40 weight poly deco. That's what we will be using the night of the event. Okay, so when you're working with metallic thread, Sulky has quite a few types of metallic thread, and this matters because some metallic threads are a round thread and some metallic threads are a flat thread. As it is winding off of the spool, you will notice as your thread winds off of the spool from your spool pin, ooh, this one's really around my snap spool, so bear with me a sec. Okay, as your thread winds off going this way, watch how it is twisting. Can you see that? It's hard to see. Here, let me get closer. See how it's twisting to come off of the spool? Now, if I orient my spool this way toward the needle, watch how it's coming off the spool. Nice and straight without twisting. The reason we have breakage when we're working with metallic threads is because it's coming off of the spool like this. It's curling and twisting on its way to the needle. Over time, especially with high-speed embroidery, high-speed sewing, even decorative stitching or quilting, all of those twists will build up and up and up, and all of a sudden, it can't take it anymore and it'll snap. This has nothing to do with the quality of the thread. This is because the thread is twisting and heating up with all of that high-speed friction, and it's going to snap on you. So, how do we use that thread director and why is it important? I'm going to try to get close to my machine now without strangling myself. Okay. You'll notice that I have 2 spool pins. A lot of people only have 1. Mine are already in a vertical position. A lot of people have horizontal spool pins that go this way. Now, my horizontal spool pin is still going this way, facing the needle. So the thread is still winding off this way, curling and twisting on its way to the needle. How do we solve this? This is the thread director, okay? It has little adjustable screws so that you can fit it around your spool pin, kind of like fitting your Christmas tree into its little base, right? You undo those. You take this thread out. Undo those so it's going to fit your spool pin. Put it in place. Oh, I went the wrong way. Now I'm completely twisted And I'm going to end up strangling myself. Hold on, please. All right, there we go. Undo these instead of tightening them like I did. Fit it over there. I promise it fits. You just have to get your screws right. There we go. Okay. Obviously, this is really hard to do when I'm plugged into my computer with my headset. So bear with me a moment. It's not this hard. All right. This top one is holding this in place. These bottom ones are going to hug your spool pin. All right. So here we go. Now, see how I have this horizontal pin facing my needle like this? I'm going to put my metallic thread on there, going this way, facing my needle. Okay, let me just tighten that a little. Hold, please. Okay, apologies if the sound was terrible. Now it's tight on here. Now I can show you. Again, I promise, it's not this hard. All right, so you get your thread on there. Take your spool pin guard. Now, if you put this on here, make sure it's not too, oh my gosh, things are unraveling. Make sure it's not too tight because you still want your spool to be able to move, okay? Now, the thread is coming off of the machine flat towards the needle. Let me just turn it so you can see. See how I have it here? It's facing my needle. So I apologize, I know that's a little bit far away, but hopefully you get the concept of the thread director. Now, the flat metallic threads are sliver and hollow shimmer, okay? Those are flat threads, and you can tell when you look at it that it is not a round thread. Very hard to see again, but super important to use that thread director when you're working with a flat metallic thread, because if you don't, along with twisting on its way to the needle, the flat part of the thread is going to get smushed and, turn and twist while you're sewing it. Now, if you're doing some couching or something like that, you want your hollow shimmer or your sliver to be flat when you're sewing it. You don't want twists and turns in it. So really, really great tool to have on hand. And again, it's on sale right now. So let me see if we have any questions about that, because I know. Someone is saying there's a huge bug on the wall behind me. Where is it? Whew. I hope it's gone. Thank you for letting me know. That's frightening. Okay. It could be some screws. I have a couple of screws in my walls where I hang things off of them certain times for different videos. So it could be one of those screws. And I'm just going to say that that's what it is. Okay. So that I don't sit here freaked out for the next however long. Okay. Let's see. Francine is asking, can the Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic machine use Oregon needles? It certainly can. I use a Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic 2, and I use Oregon needles exclusively in it. So, I will tell you that. All right, Betsy says, yes, sequins are so tricky. We could use some info for metallics. All right, so we just went over metallics. Well, my main tip is really to use that thread director, but I'm also going to show you a couple of other things here. Now, here is a really, really pretty blouse. And this was created by Katrina Walker. and she created it for Creative Machine Embroidery magazine. I like to call that my alma mater because I used to be the editor of that magazine. She created it for Creative Machine Embroidery in 2018, so you can probably still find this issue on demand, or purchase it if you so desire. But isn't this a beautiful blouse? Now, she did all kinds of metallic embroidery on this sheer blouse. I mean, as if metallic embroidery wasn't challenging enough, she paired it with sheer fabric. So it can be done. And if it can be done, Katrina Walker will figure out a way to do it. So not only is it great to use the thread director when you're doing high-speed embroidery with metallics, also slow your machine down, way down, almost to the slowest setting. If you're a beginner at this or doing your first test stitch out, do the slowest setting and then move up from there and see what your machine and the thread will tolerate, okay, before you just go high speed, foot to the floor kind of sewing. For this, not only is the thread director helpful, but also using Sulky Sticky Fabrisolvi. The Sticky Fabrisolvi is a lot like that Stick and Stitch. It's actually the same product, but you can get it on the bolt, okay? So you can use it for larger projects, things like this blouse. The Sticky Fabrisolvi, you can even sandwich your sheer fabric between two layers of it, stick those stabilizer pieces together, embroider everything, and then it washes out completely when embroidery is complete. And that way you're adding sort of a thread count to your fabric, making it appear or seem thicker than it actually is, and it gives the thread something to hold on to. Then when it washes away, you have beautiful metallic thread accents on a sheer fabric blouse. So we have an entire blog post about this technique that Katrina used. You'll find it at blog.sulky.com, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful result. So here it is with that beautiful embroidered fabric. It's like this constellation. She kind of did an all-over fabric print using metallics. So if you are frightened to work with metallics, grab that thread director, slow your machine down, make sure you have either a metallic or a top stitch needle for your embroidery, and check out that blog post because it's full of some other great tips. All right, so speaking of sequins is challenging to sew. You want to make sure your sequence is all going in the same direction. So give it a little pet, decide which direction you want it to go. Some sequins look a completely different way if you brush it upwards versus down. If you're making a garment, let's say a skirt, you'll want all your sequins going down, okay? So keep that directionality in mind when you are constructing something. Here is a pretty sequin skirt. This is also on the Sulky blog. We will put links to these blog posts in the comments here so you can navigate there directly, or you can just search sequins on the Sulky blog. Again, that's blog.sulky.com. So, did you also know that you can embroider sequins? I know, frighteningly scary, right? Here is a really pretty embroidery design added to that sequin skirt. Yes, it can be done. Again, with the help of Sulky stabilizers. Very important that you use a topper. Okay, so we've brushed the sequence down and then put Sulky Solvi topper over the top. Then you add your embroidery design. Now, you want to choose a design that doesn't have a bunch of fill stitches to it. All those needle penetrations are going to snap your sequins. Okay, so keep in mind when you're choosing the design, choose some lighter, airier line art style designs or designs with just little fill stitch areas that maybe the fill is going to cover those sequins enough to where if it does crack because of the needle, it's not going to be visible. You will literally cover that area with stitches. So here you see, this is the only fill stitch area of this design was that center flower portion. And then the rest was some little swirls and things like that done in the line art. So you can see how that topper tames the sequins, makes sure all the sequins are staying facing downward, and gives you sort of a new surface to embroider on. So your needle isn't going to catch on those pieces of sequins while it's embroidering the design. Again, great idea to slow your machine down and watch it intently to make sure that everything is performing as intended. Oops. Let me go back to that embroidery design. So how pretty is that? You can completely customize even your sequence attire. So really, really cool, simple A-line skirt that you can create using some fun sequins fabric. And you can be all decked out for New Year's Eve. So those are just a couple of ideas. Sheer blouse, sequin skirt, fringe bag, we'll be all set for our Roaring 20s theme and hopefully partying together for the night. Okay, Deidre wants to know, is the purple lining with the bird included in the kit? Yes, it is. So I'll just go over the kit contents, and remember, this also is going to have the thread and the stabilizer that you need for whichever version of the kit you choose. So handwork, you're getting 4 spools of cotton petites along with stick and stitch. Machine work, you're getting 4 spools of poly deco along with sulky stiffy stabilizer. Then you are also getting your spool of construction thread. So along with that, in your kit, we'll just do a little unboxing here. These are your pre-cut pieces. Now this is the gray version that comes with the antique hardware. Okay, so I've got my 4 pre-cut fringe pieces, 2 for the front, 2 for the back, as you can see, pre-cut using a laser cutter. So these are pristine. Okay, you can't possibly achieve this perfection when you're doing it yourself. Well, maybe you can. It'll just take a lot longer, right? I shouldn't say that maybe you can. Of course you can. Again, just take a little bit longer. All right, so we got our fringe pieces. We've got our little tab pieces for our zipper and our connector strap for the hardware that is holding our strap in place. Okay, and then we've got 2 of these. This is the bottom part of the bag. And then we've got 2 exterior top pieces. These are the pieces we're going to embroider. You can embroider one side, you can embroider both sides. You can really have fun with it. Kind of choose your own adventure. And again, it's that really great linen fabric. Then you've got your pre-cut zipper. Like I said, this is the antique version, really high quality. Now it looks like metal, but it's not. It's actually plastic, okay? So we can sew over this, no problem. We will be sewing those little zipper ends using this piece, and we will be going slow, and you will get all the tips from Jessica, the pattern designer herself. Then we've got our pre-cut strap pieces. We'll be joining these together so we have a nice long strap that we can adjust. So right now I have my strap set for like a shoulder bag, but this is doubled up. This can go really long and be crossbody style, and you have a lot of flexibility. So if you like to wear your bag really close to you, it's totally adjustable with the help of this little nice buckle. Okay. All right. So you also get a couple of little interfacing pieces for those little strap pieces, all pre-cut. You get your lining fabric. This is what Deidre was talking about. Here's our purple lining fabric, 2 pieces, pre-cut, so that we're ready to box those corners. And then we've got our fusible fleece, 2 pieces, pre-cut for our exterior. Now, don't go fusing this yet until we are done with our embroidery, okay? Then you also get your pocket piece. Again, laser cut, ready to construct. And then your little hardware pieces that help you make that professional looking strap, all included. And it matches your zipper. So everything goes together. So I will be making my gray bag today to showcase that machine embroidery. And then lucky me, I get one in each color, a handwork version and a machine embroidery version. So if you want to try both techniques, you can start off with handwork with me on the 31st, and then we'll be moving to machine embroidery, and then we can do the construction all together. And again, you can rewatch, watch again, rewind, pause, all that after the live event, and you can go back and finish your second bag. A lot of you are saying you got 2 kits, and that's awesome. Okay, so that's what you get in your kit. Remember, you also get thread and stabilizer based on the type of kit that you're purchasing. Heather wants to know if Sulky sells that thread director. We certainly do, and it is on sale right now. All tools and supplies 25% off, and that includes that thread director. So you can get thread director 1 for 1 spool of thread, or thread director 2 for 2 spools of thread. It's also good for other decorative threads that you might be using. It doesn't have to be hollow shimmer or sliver or sulky original metallic. It's really great for even rayon thread. You don't want pretty much any thread twisting on its way to the needle. So it can be really helpful for a lot of designs, especially high-speed machine embroidery. I also linked to that thread director in the description of today's post. So if you hit see more, you'll see the list, and that thread director is there. Oh, Philip, stop telling me this. The bug went behind my machine. Now you're just making me sick. I work down in the basement, so I guess it's bound to happen. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, hi, Sharon. Sharon's in the house, you guys. I went to Germany with Sharon last year during our Sulky Craft Tours event around this time, and we got to see Christmas time, all the Christmas markets in Germany and Austria. Well, not all of them, because I'm sure there's a million, but a lot of them. And Sharon was one of my tour mates. It's always great to see all of you here on the So What. Okay. Let's see. Ronnie says, Sulky is the only metallic my machine likes, period. Well, I get that a lot. Sulky really, really goes above and beyond as far as testing and really wants to make sure that the customer is having the best experience. So I find that all the Sulky products I use are just super great quality. Okay, Linda wants to know, how does the New Year's Eve sew-along work if your computer is not in the same room as your sewing machine? Of course, my phone is more portable, but smaller. So you can watch it on your phone. If you have a smartphone and you can just go to that same URL on your phone, you could put your phone next to your sewing machine and sew along with us. The other thing you could do is project it onto a TV screen. If you have an HDMI cord that works either with your computer or your phone, and you're able to kind of extend your screen experience that way. Let's see. I guess another thing you could do is move your machine, but I know what a bear that is. Yeah. If you have a tablet as well, that could work. So that is another idea. But, I guess you would use your phone, and then if you want to watch it again, you could watch it on your computer at a later date, or you could join us on the computer. Then when you work on your machine, you can reference it on your phone. So that's an idea. All right. Sandra says, New Year's Eve is a date. I'll see you there. Okay, and a lot of people are asking, will this be saved to Facebook for us to review later? Yes, all of our So What's you can find on our Facebook page. You do kind of have to scroll through the feed in order to find the other ones. So what I also do is after this airs live, I put it up on YouTube as a recorded event. and I have a So What playlist on the Sulky YouTube page, and you can jump on over there, find all the So Whats we've ever done. This is episode 54 already. Can you believe it? Episode 54. I love it. So we do these every week, and if you want to refer to this one or any ones we have done in the past, you can head on over to our YouTube channel and easily watch them all in succession. If you want to just stream So What all day, you certainly can. All right. Okay. Joanne says, where do we access the embroidery and bag pattern? I paid, but don't see anything on website. Okay. You might be on the wrong website. If you are looking at sulky.com, you actually have to go to our Education and Events tab to find the New Year's Eve event. You can also go to sewingonline.sulky.com, and if you have already paid and registered, you will be able to access everything from your library off of that site. So I know it's a little confusing. There are actually two different websites that are housed together at sulky.com. I know it's confusing, but you can find it both places. It's just easier to go straight to sewingonline.sulky.com, and then you can navigate to your library once you've logged in and find everything you've ever paid for or interacted with. So even if you have added a free webcast to your library that we've done previously, you'll be able to access it in your library. Now, I should also mention, if you have attended one of our free webinars in the past, it will not automatically be part of your library. Now that we have changed over to this new platform, you will need to add those events again if you want to access them, okay? So if you attended our Serger Smarts with Katrina Walker, you'll need to add that free webinar, which is called a legacy webinar, to your library once you have created your new account. So I know that's also a little bit frustrating, but I assure you it's a much better experience once you do all of that. Okay. Okay. Ronnie is saying, YouTube is where I saw my first episode ever. That's so awesome. I'm glad that you came on over to Facebook and can enjoy it and can join us live now. Super fun. Okay. Oh, Sharon. Speaking of our Germany trip, awesome trip with Ellen and Sulky. We made so many friends with whom we still keep in touch. Yeah, you know, I've never experienced anything like it, quite honestly, and I cannot wait until we can get back to our craft tours trips, trips in general, that is. We really made lifelong friends, and we're on a group text, and every so often we check in with each other, and it's so fun to see what everyone is up to. This past year has been, you know, challenging for everyone, so it's been really nice to have that tight group of friends that we all shared that experience and still communicate with each other, so it's so awesome. All right, well, I think I've addressed all the questions. If you didn't get an answer to your question, or if you have more questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at info@sulky.com, and we will be sure to get back in touch with you as soon as humanly possible. So I hope you will all be joining me on New Year's Eve. I'm really excited about it. You know, quite honestly, I haven't done anything for New Year's Eve in quite a long time. I always kind of celebrate earlier with my kids and try to get them to bed. And then like I said, I end up falling asleep. So this is really exciting. It's something that's going to get me to midnight with all of you and to be able to celebrate with some people near and far, and some really far, because some people internationally have joined the party as well. So that's going to be really fun to see who comes along. And again, make new friends, meet new people, even if it's virtually and in the comfort of our own home. So be sure to head on over and register and grab your spot today. Get your kit today or by tomorrow night to ensure that you get it in time to join us. That pre-cut kit is a screaming deal right now, $39.99 at the Sallie Tomato site. So super excited to see all of you. here today. And never fear, I will still be joining you the next couple of weeks leading up to Christmas and New Year's and all the fun holidays. For all of you celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. And for all of you celebrating other holidays, happy holidays to you as we head into a really, really fun and exciting celebratory week next week. Maybe I'll dress up next Tuesday as well. I won't promise anything, but we'll try. All right, so have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next week.